Did you know that your emotions are just assumptions or guesses of what you think is happening in front of you? That is all they are. It is the nervous system sending you a chemical message based on past experiences. And so it's just guessing emotional energies that you may need in that moment. And it's up to the consciousness to examine those energies and determine whether I need to utilize them or not. So emotions are just guesses. They are no different than the weather being forecasted. It is just a forecast. And just like in the weather forecast, there is room for error. How many times have you seen the weather predictions say that it's going to rain in your area? There's a 50% chance of rain. In fact, that happened this morning. There's a 50% chance of rain, and it didn't even rain, at least in your area. Well, it's because there's room for error when it comes to guessing or forecasting statistics, all of that, meaning there is possibility of it being wrong and it being inaccurate. Now, this doesn't mean that your emotions are invalid. They are always valid to feel, but they are not always valid to act on. And so the nervous system just takes memory. It stores your childhood experiences and everything you experienced in your adulthood throughout your entire life. And it stores that memory and the emotions that you had associated with that experience. And it locks it up within the coding within your neurons throughout the entire body. It's not just the brain, it's throughout the entire body. What makes it hardwired is suppressing the emotions. So when we suppress our emotions, we reinforce those neural connections. That's what makes them very tangled up. And so this is the way neurons work. They're very fascinating. They actually crawl to each other. So they're at a distance and they crawl to each other, and what pushes them to crawl to each other is neurotransmitters or emotional chemicals. So emotional chemicals are neurotransmitters, and that's how the neurons communicate, and they sit around and they talk to each other and they send these chemicals back and forth to each other. So it's the emotion that's creating that neural connection. It's the emotions of what you're experiencing in that moment. And so what happens is that when we suppress these emotions, they become closer and closer and closer. They become tangled up, entangled, completely entangled. And that's what creates that hard wire. And the reason why suppressing our emotions does this, it creates that tighter entanglement, is because we're not conscious to them. And so your nervous system is sending an emotional chemical message to you and expecting a response back. It's always expecting a response back. Just like text messages. We send text messages to people where 99% of the time we're expecting a response back. We're expecting something back. And in the neurosciences or in the sciences in general, this is called feedback loops. So we're expecting feedback. And the nervous system expects feedback from you as to whether, hey, do you need these emotional chemicals? This what's happening in front of you, or the thoughts that you're having reminds me of this, so I'm gonna push forward these emotional chemicals to you. Do you need those? But when we suppress them, we're not conscious to them. We're not conscious to the nervous system, and we're not telling it, oh, I just need a little bit, not a lot. I just need a little bit in order to manage this emergency situation. So yeah, I'll take some of that adrenaline, and I'll take a little bit of that fear to manage this emergency situation, because both of those help us focus and manage an emergency situation calmly. Or yeah, I'll take a lot of that happiness. I'll take a lot of that joy so I can experience this situation over here. But we have to be conscious to it. And so when we have an emotion that's very uncomfortable to feel, and it's usually, they are most likely related to a past memory, and we suppress it, the nervous system is not getting the feedback it needs. And so therefore, it's going to send you the emotion again, over and over and over and over again. And that's where those neurons just get completely tangled up, and it becomes a little bit harder to distinguish what emotion is even in there, because the compound effect of emotions will occur. So initially that little neural network that was created was really just one or two, maybe three emotions, but the longer we suppress it, you're going to have a snowball effect. You're going to have a lot of emotions compounded on top of each other. And it's going to be so dense, you're not even going to be able to determine which emotion it is.
Follow me to learn more on neuro-spirituality, animal communication, and emotional energetics.